Hi everyone, in this video we're going to do a full day wear test and review of the newest powder foundation from Maybelline. This is their Super Stay 24-hour hybrid powder foundation. I will give you all the information you need. I will apply it in real time so you can see how it applies, builds up, what the coverage is like, etc. And I will check in with you to let you see how it wears throughout the day and what my final thoughts are on whether this is a good product or not. Thank you so much for taking the time to subscribe to the channel and following Allura Beauty on Instagram. If you haven't seen the latest video, I will go ahead and link that in the upper right hand corner for you to check out. Please go ahead and check it out if you haven't seen it already. I will link in the description box below where you can find this product since it's kind of new and hopefully the most affordable place that you can purchase it at. I purchased mine for $15 and the shade that I will be testing in this video is 128, which upon first seeing it, I thought, ooh, I think this might be too dark. But as you'll see throughout the footage, I think it's a pretty good match. In MAC foundations, I'm usually an NC20. All right, you get 6 grams of product. Unfortunately, mine came broken, so I don't really want to open it more than I need to. It doesn't have a mirror in the lid here, but it does have one when you open up the compact, and it has a sponge inside, and now I have powder all over, of course. Obviously, the price will vary just depending on what exact retailer you get it from, whether it's your local drugstore or Walmart or online. You get 6 grams of product in the compact, and there are, it looks like 3, 6, 9 to over a dozen shades available. If you're curious about where to find this necklace and this sweater shirt, both of which are very affordable, I will also link those in the description box for you. Let's look at the claims. It says this gives you a soft matte look with medium to full coverage. It has a hybrid formula to deliver 24 hours of super staying power. I do not plan to wear this for 24 hours, nor do I recommend any of you wear makeup for that long. The hybrid technology is supposed to be super resistant, and it's supposed to give you the performance of a liquid, but with the comfort of a powder, which sounds fantastic. It's supposed to be super lightweight and comfortable to wear. It's also supposed to be long wearing and sweat and water resistant and transfer resistant, but not be cakey and not be patchy, which sounds almost too good to be true. Taking a quick look at the ingredients, you have very typical powder product ingredients like talc, dimethicone. A lot of people demonize talc. It is not unsafe. It's not bad for you. So if you want to avoid that, that's your personal choice, but I wouldn't be afraid of this product having talc. Silica, cornstarch, which will help with mattifying the skin. I don't see anything here that is startling or bad for your skin. So if these claims hold true, I think this is a fantastic product to get the comfort of, or the performance of the liquid, but with the comfort of a powder foundation. I always feel like powder foundations are more comfortable to wear than most liquid foundations. And I'm curious about the sweat resistant claims also, so I'll make sure to also test that for you. Let's go ahead and go back in time and apply the product so you can see how it goes on to the skin. Okay, so I've applied it to this side or this half of my face using a kind of a flat, very dense powder brush. This is from a brand that hasn't existed for many years, but I wanted to get kind of like a medium to higher density level of bristles. I immediately notice a very mattifying effect. You can see that this side is much more matte than my natural skin on this side. So that's nice for someone like me who has shinier skin. And yes, I immediately notice coverage. I wouldn't say complete, total full coverage, but there's definitely a reducing of the visibility of my freckles. So I'm gonna go ahead, and because my powder came broken, that's why I have to be kind of careful when I do this. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my other side of the face, and maybe we'll do a second layer to see. I mean, personally, I wouldn't put another layer on because at this stage I don't love full coverage. This gives me plenty of coverage for every day, maybe even more coverage than I would personally want. And I'm not using a ton of product, so there's a finished face. I think I put a little more product on this side, but let's go ahead. I'll build it up on this side to see how much more coverage we get. Yeah, there is a little bit of a bump in coverage. Even still. Okay, so up close, here's the side with multiple layers applied. Seems very smooth. And then here is more of a lighter coverage layer. Definitely a difference in coverage, and you can certainly build it up, but what I like about it is it doesn't seem to be caking on the skin or give you a lot of texture from the building up of the coverage, which is really nice. Okay, here is the powder application. It gets very nice coverage and looks very smooth on the skin. I'm gonna go finish the rest of the makeup and I'll let you see what the final result is. Okay, here is the finished look. I really like the way that this makeup sits on the skin. Especially as I get older, I find it a little more difficult to use powder products because they do emphasize any dryness that I have, fine lines. But this is really sitting very nicely on the skin. Obviously things like skincare, whether your makeup will play nicely with whatever you're putting in your skin, those things are factors too. I used RMS Beauty's Uncover Up concealer for my under eyes. I also used DHC's Rich Moisture Facial Moisturizer, which is absolutely fantastic, as well as a surprise to me on how well I loved how it sits on the skin, this Glow Biotics Probiotic Skincare MD Tinted Sunscreen SPF 30. These are all things that will be on sale for a Black Friday sale. I'm gonna do a separate video on some Black Friday skincare that's fantastic, so stay tuned for that. So that, you know, obviously contributes to how smooth something might be or whether it might pill or be streaky. But I think it sits beautifully on the skin. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like in natural light. All right, this is what we have in natural sunlight. Let me know in the comments below what you think about the finish. And I'll check back in with you either in a few hours if there is an update or at the end of the day. Oh, we have to test out the sweat resistant. It's cold outside, so I don't know that I could personally test that for you, but to see how waterproof or sweat resistant this is, I'm gonna go ahead and apply it to the back of my hand generously. And I caked it on there, so hopefully you can see where I've applied it. And then this is actually a mixture of water and glycerin, which I use for swatch videos, but I'm gonna spritz this on here. So you can see where the powder is resisting the absorption of the water or the water mixture. That is, I think, true to claim. I'm gonna sort of rub my fingers over this. You can see that there is still powder product underneath there. It has sunk in, so it's not completely resisting the water, so it's not completely like hydrophobic, but I think that it's saying that it's sweat resistant and water resistant holds true. Yeah, you can still see the powder underneath there, even though I have swiped my finger over the powder, so that's pretty impressive. Okay, checking in with you. It's about 3.5 hours after application. My makeup is a little bit different because I filmed a different video, but I didn't disturb the underlying foundation other than putting on slightly different colored blush. I mainly changed my eyes. It's wearing beautifully. It is shinier. I naturally have oily, shiny skin, so it hasn't been able to stay matte after a couple of hours, but the smoothness is there and it seems pretty even. Maybe a little bit of fine lineage showing through, but overall I really enjoy the look. The coverage has maintained also. So I'll check again back in several hours with you at the very end of the day. Okay, here we are at the end of the day. No touching up, no blotting, which is something I typically would do if I'm not testing a product. Pretty shiny, overall pretty shiny, oily, slick. So like I said, normally I would take some tissue and blotting paper and get rid of the shine. So you're not gonna get that long-term same mattifying effect that we saw at first, but hopefully you can see up close that it is still retaining the coverage, the evenness in application. I would say a little bit around each side of my nose, the pores have been a little bit emphasized, and it's settled just slightly into the fine lines around my lips, but otherwise I'm very impressed and I really like the formulation and the way that this looks on the skin. So definitely thumbs up for me. Gives me smoothness and coverage that even my more expensive powder foundations that I've purchased before, like the Double Wear from Estee Lauder and the Compact, that when I first purchased it and was using it, you know, it's a couple years ago, it looked nice and smooth, but like I said, as my skin ages, with fine lines and texture and unevenness, I've liked that product less. So even against something more expensive like that, I would absolutely choose this over repurchasing something like that again. So I hope this video is helpful to you. Let me know in the comment section below if you've tried this and what your thoughts are, any questions you have. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.